Hello traders, welcome back to the Forex channel. Today I'm going to talk about how you can get sniper entries and exits for your trades. So a lot of people talk about how to get sniper entries, how to enter on the wicks, how to enter with minimal drawdown, but a lot of times they don't actually talk about how to get sniper exits. So then when you're exiting the trade, a lot of the times you would be able to actually enter in the opposite direction as well. So let's say you're buying, your buy hits the TP and you can usually enter a sell from that. But a lot of the times they don't talk about this, they just talk about how to get the entries. So I'm going to talk about how to get the exits too. And obviously there are many ways to do this. But personally I'm going to go over how to use session highs and lows to actually target areas for your trades as a TP. But yeah, before we start the video, if you want more in-depth analysis of my charts to learn all my strategies, then my mentorship link is in the description and on my Telegram groups as well. So be sure to go check them out in the description down below. But without further ado, let's get into the video. We're going to do the first example on gold. So what I usually do is I get the little highlighter tool and then we go over and we look at which areas we could see taken out. So let's go back in time. Let's say we are trading at around this sort of area right now. What can we see of what highs and lows can we see that haven't been tested? So firstly, we've got this area here. It's kind of like a wick up and then a drop down. But as we see, that was in New York session and New York session opened here. So technically this is the New York high, not this one. So we can get rid of that one. We also see this wick here. That is the London high. However, as we can see, this was the London high instead. And what happened to that London high? This wick here took out this one. So now this is the London high. This wick here. So on that area. And then here we do actually have the New York high, which hasn't actually been tested. So now if we draw across from this area and from this area, now we have London high, New York high, which are yet to be tested. So now if we're actually basing our trades off this, so now we can actually base our trades and targets from this sort of area here. We also have it around 1810 and around 1816, so perfect. If we look now to the downside, so obviously if we have highs, we then need to have the session lows. As you see, we've got the London low here, then we've got the New York low here, which pretty much took out the London low. So London created its low, price pushed up. Later into London session, New York wick down, took out the London low like that, pretty much taking the level out. And let's say you're basing your trades off of this sort of thing. So then we do actually have the retest down here. Okay, so what do we have? This area here. You see we've got liquidity, we retest the liquidity, we enter a buy position. You see sniper entries as well. A lot of times I actually set limits now because I don't want to miss the trades. Stop loss, where can we have it? I only use really a 20 pip stop, but for this example, let's just say it's 20 pips. Perfect entry, wouldn't have been stopped out. And let's say our first target is actually this area here at around 1810. And then we could have our second target at this level up here. But if we actually play price on now and you see what happens, price goes up, comes back down, and boom. Look where price comes into perfectly, and then if we play it on, we get a drop down from this level. We actually caught the shorts here. But you'll see, a lot of other traders will be like, oh, we're closing at this level. We're only closing at 1800 here. So they would have missed out on all this profit. But we know that that high had to be taken out. So that's where we were targeting, this level here. We could still see this London high be taken. The New York high has been taken. So now we can get rid of this little highlighter. There we go. So now this New York high has actually been taken. So this area here, done. And now what did price do? It created a new New York high. New York high here taken, left another New York high at this sort of level. So kind of in the exact same area which we actually had that trade there. Another example. This here was the London high. Price came down, created a London low here, New York low here, taken, created a London low, created a London high. So what do we see now? we see price actually take out this London high. So alongside the trade from down here, we also have a trade that we could have taken here. If we actually look along, what do we have? This sort of zone where price tests into. Get another entry in here, targeting this London high, this New York high from back here, because it was yet to be taken. And then that's a 1 to 7, 1 to 11, 18% profit. Lovely, lovely times. What we can see now is, remember I was saying you can enter from these areas as well. So obviously you wouldn't just enter just based from this, or you wouldn't just base your trading solely off this one thing. But you can see, if you're on a lower time frame maybe, other confluences in these sort of areas. So let's say we had more confluences at this area, and then we had a sell limit here and a TP here. So the buys were hitting TP and the sell limits were actually activating. 20 pip stop, where could we target? Okay, so first target, what have we got here? We've got a London low yet to be taken out. Also down here, we've got another London low. Down here even is the London low yet to be taken at around 1786. But we're looking more recent. We've got the New York low here, first target, this New York low. And as you see, look, wick in, up. So what does it do? It tests the London high with the New York open, takes out the London high with this wick here, and then drops back down. So now this low has been taken, this high has been taken by this wick, and then we've actually dropped to the downside to take out this London low and also come into this area here. And then price bounces again from the area. So again, if we play price on, what happens? We have New York high taken out by Tokyo high. And again, what happens here? New York highs are then taken out. So again, London high, new London high. So now we're looking for this high to be taken out. Boom, taken out. What happens? Price rejects from the area straight away. Again, what does it leave behind? A Tokyo high, which is then taken by the London high. So guys, you just got to realize that a lot of the times these areas do get tested and can reject from these sort of areas. So there's no point just entering because, oh, we've just wicked into a London high. Because as you can see from this example here, it can often fake people out. You know, it's held the low, it's created a double bottom on a lower time frame maybe, and then they're like, oh, it's time to buy. But no, it's just tapping into that level, coming up, taking out the high, and then dropping down to take out previous lows or previous liquidity which has actually been left behind. But obviously this is in more detail, and that's not really stuff for the free YouTube channel, if you know what I mean. But yeah, gold right now, what can we see happen? So you see the buy positions which we actually just missed. We actually just missed by like a pip or so. We'd be running over 1%. But what could we see happen? So again here, what have we got? We've got the New York high. Down here we've got Tokyo low. But where's the London low? Here. This level here is the London low. Or even this level here actually. So if we actually zoom in, you can see this. If we draw the line across, this level here, London low, pretty much almost got taken out, and then we've pushed to the upside. So obviously my trade wasn't just taken just based off that, because that would be stupid, just having one confluence. You know, you always want to go for those higher probability setups, and that's how you just improve your win rate overall. But yeah, I hope you guys did find this video useful. A little tip on how to get your entries and exits perfect, and how to overall improve your win rate and your profit taking. And if it did help you guys, like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.